Hi everyone, Alex here, AMRC, and today I want to compare these two planes from the same manufacturer, QIDI or QIDI, whatever you want to call it. One's the 580, which is a Cirrus, and the other is the 560, which is a Maule M7. Now, of course, the main difference is the wing type. The Maule is a high wing and should be a bit easier to fly. The Cirrus is a low wing. And the wheels, this has large foam wheels and a tail wheel, which is not steerable, and that's a shame because the ground handling suffers from that. They both have lights on the wingtips, front, rear. Now the Cirrus has these plastic wheels, which are also smaller. Same tail wheel, lights the same front, rear, and on the wingtips. Now size wise they are pretty similar. You can see the wingspan, the total length, they are pretty much the same, so no surprises there. The radios, they are almost identical, just this writing here, this is for the QIDI. The middle mode says inverted flight mode, and here it's gyro auxiliary mode. So yeah, that's the only difference to the ready to fly radios. They both run 1S batteries with brushless motors, but the battery for the Cirrus is a lot larger. You can see it has two cells, probably in series. They say 1000 milliamp. I kind of doubt that. And for the Maule, it's also a 1S, but a single cell and 500 milliamp. And see, there's a bit of a difference in size and weight, of course. And on the Cirrus, the battery goes in here. There's no other compartment to put it in. This also has front compartment, but I think it's mostly for accessing the motor. The battery barely fits in here. If it does, the wire won't reach, but it has this compartment on the bottom where you can load up the battery. So yeah, these are the main differences between the planes. You can find each of these for around $50–60, depending on different sales and coupons they offer. But most importantly, these are aimed at beginners. They're really good value for what you get. Ready to fly package, you just need 4 AA's for the radios and you're good to go. Maule has a 2-blade prop, and it looks like a slow flyer prop. You see by the wide blades. And this is a 3-blade, and it's most likely a drone prop. It's also not very flexible. Neither is this, but it looks more forgiving. Okay, let's get them in the air and see how each flies. Okay, I'll start off with the Maule. Very important, make sure all your surfaces are moving. Beginner mode, full throttle, and up it goes. It's a pretty fast plane for its size. You kind of have to fly it fast because it is a bit heavy. The foam is very durable. I've crashed it into these power lines. It survived, but that also means extra weight. Not sure what type of foam this is. Okay, so just cruising around. I'm around half throttle now. The rudder isn't very effective, at least not in this mode. You need to use ailerons to turn. You get that beep every minute once the transmitter is on, so it's not throttle related. And if you could keep count of them, it's a good indication. I have a car coming. I'll wait for it to pass. Now I'll try to put it into experience mode. I haven't flown this for quite a while, and it flies better than I remember. Another car coming. Okay, let's turn. Ooh. Okay. Definitely a bit sketchier. Ooh. Hard to keep level. Back into beginner mode. Okay, let's try the middle mode now. Okay, ooh. Ooh. Wow, that was close. Okay, so the middle mode, I think, lets you flip it over, do a loop. But it is kind of sketchy to fly this. Another good option is the Eachine T28 Trojan 400mm. Although it's a brushed motor, I feel it flies better than these, at least in the expert mode. Okay, let's try mid mode again. Let's see, can we do a loop? Almost. Let's you do a roll. Okay, and I like the roll rate. It's pretty decent. Ooh, Okay, now we have the opportunity to test out the crash resistance. Now, I didn't do that on purpose, but it is a bit lacking in power. And as I said, this foam is really tough. No damage. Let's see if everything's moving. Yeah, okay. Even the motor. Oh, okay. This hatch popped off, and it does have a slight crack. Oh, yeah, I broke it. But it should stay on here, and a little bit of glue at home will fix that. Okay, let's try flying it some more. Let's try again. Another thing I want to try out is see how well these hand launch. Maybe you don't have access to a paved road or smooth dirt runway. So full throttle, beginner mode. Okay, not bad. Didn't have to throw too hard. Mostly flew out of my hand. So yeah, I'm not an expert, but not a beginner either. I'd say I'm intermediate, but I like the feel of these better in beginner mode. They're more predictable, and you can just cruise around nicely, and you can get a feel for flying. Of course, it's important to try and find a clear area, no trees, power lines, houses, people. As anything you can hit, you will probably hit sometime. Okay, touch and go. If that tail wheel was steerable, these would be a lot better. Another touch and go. Let's try again. This direction. Ooh, that was a bit rough. That descent angle was a bit too high. Ooh. Another bounce. And the flight time is pretty good with these. Okay, still want to try a loop. Ooh. I wasn't listening to my elevator input. That's strange. It's an experience mode. Let's try middle one. Roll. Yeah, it does it. Ooh, knife edging. Ah, okay. I crashed it again. See, these expert modes are not the most forgiving in this airplane. It crashed safely. Everything still works, even the motor. Okay, so enough with this one, I think. Let's take it back and try the Cirrus. Okay, now time for the Cirrus. This isn't completely scale. Ooh, see, the original model had a nose wheel, not a tail wheel, and this one, these rather dinky wheels, they might catch and it just flips over. So let's try that again. Okay, what I'll try to do is hold full up the elevator, which means the right stick down, and then gradually increase the throttle. Okay, now it's up. Still beginner mode. So because of that, it's a bit harder to land. You really have to ease it down, otherwise the prop will strike the ground and you'll have a sudden stop or a nose over. I don't know why, but this feels slower. It just feels like it doesn't have power. That's strange. I was still in beginner mode, but it just didn't have the power. Okay. This crash was quicker than the Maule. It did feel strange, like it doesn't have enough power. You can see prop's barely moving. It might be a loose wire. Let me go back to the car and I'll check it. These are the motor wires, the black, yellow, and red, and the battery goes over them and it kind of stretches them, so that might be an issue. Try to get them to the side and put the battery back in. Radio on, up, down, and okay, it seems to be working now, so I'll put that hatch back on and try this again. Okay, let's try the hand launch with this one as well. Full throttle. Okay, also pretty easy. Yeah, I think those motor wires were the problem. It's flying a lot better now. And yeah, it does feel a bit faster, and you kind of need to fly it faster to keep it in the air than the Maule. I think it has to do with the wing shape. This has a thinner, narrower wing, well, less wing surface, let's say. So it's meant to fly a bit faster. Okay, that's full throttle. The rudder is a bit more effective on this one. Not very effective, but it helps in the turns. Whew. Okay, that was weird. It just dropped out of the sky. Luckily I saved it. I'm still in beginner mode, so that shouldn't have happened. Okay, let's try, just to be fair, in the experience mode. So I turn. Okay, let's try a roll. Ooh, these don't really want to do loops. Ooh. It rolls, but a bit slower than the Maule. Back to beginner mode. I don't know, again I'm feeling like not getting enough throttle, or maybe it's just me. Might try a different prop on this. I had a different prop on the Maule with a small adapter I designed and 3D printed. Get the E-Flight EOMX props on these. Okay, let's try the middle mode. No, see, on this one it doesn't let me roll the plane, but it does give me a bit more control. And they also have this stun button, but I don't like those. Ooh, what was that? I don't like to use them. If I'm gonna do a trick, I'd rather do it myself. Although with these, as you saw, it's pretty tricky. So maybe let's try one just for demonstration's sake. Okay, I'll press this, full throttle, and ooh, whoa, okay. It did that roll, but lost a lot of altitude doing it. So you should probably be a lot higher trying that. Curious if it will do a loop. Okay, I'm pretty up high. Let's see. Loop? No, nothing. No. Okay, woo, that is really high. I can barely see it. Throttle off. It's gliding down nicely. Past 10 seconds or so we're without throttle. I'm not really gonna try touch and goes with this one because I showed you the landing gear is not the best suited for that. But let's try some slow passes. Ooh. Yeah, overall, especially as a beginner plane, I think the Maule is a lot better suited. This is not bad, but it's a bit more difficult to fly. I like this color scheme. They also have blue and gray for the Cirrus, and for the Maule they have a red and white version. I really wanted that one, but a year or so ago when I got it, it was on back order. They had the blue one in stock, and after waiting for a couple of weeks, I didn't want to wait anymore, and I changed my order to the blue. Okay, it's really not bad in beginner mode, just that it's a bit faster and that landing gear doesn't help it. Got a car coming. Now, normally this should have a longer flight time with the larger battery, but I don't think I ever flew these till the batteries ran out. Now the two things I would change on either of these would be a 2S power system, or why not even 3S. That would make them a lot better to have more power, and steerable landing gear, tail wheel. Of course, this Cirrus, if it would have a front nose wheel that's steerable, that would be scale and really nice. But otherwise, for $50–60, I don't think there is any other brushless motor airplanes you can get. And brushless is important because they're more reliable, they'll last longer, they're more efficient, more powerful for the same size. Ooh. And of course there's way better flying planes out there, but you'll have to spend a lot more for them, even in this micro size. Okay, let's try landing. I'll have to be really careful not to flip this over or bounce. Ooh. It's purposing a bit, but ooh. And now I hear a car coming. Oh no. They're from the main road up in front. Sometimes it's hard to tell without looking. Okay, let's see now. Okay, I think that was my first good landing with this one. Okay, so there you have them. I flew them both, I crashed them both, and I showed you everything that happened. I want to be as honest as possible so you can get a good idea. I bought these myself, so I have no interest in promoting them, but I want to help people looking to get into flying RC airplanes. These are two pretty solid options and fairly cheap. Now, after flying them back to back, I would definitely say the Maule is the easier one to fly, the easier one to take off and land. So I would suggest, if you would have to choose and don't have any preference look wise, go for the Maule. It's just a tiny bit better. Now, if you have any questions, let me know down in the comments. I might do some more videos with these, try some different props, different radios. These boards should allow you to connect a satellite receiver for Futaba or Spectrum, or also if you have a multi-protocol radio, which I do, but I haven't been able to figure out yet. If I do, I'll try flying these with that, and I'll show you how they fly and maybe how you can bind them to a multi-protocol radio. So don't forget, like this video if you enjoyed it, if it helped, subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you next time. Bye.